Good morning, everybody. Today is October 19th. It's 5 a.m. It's my normal routine. I usually get up. I'll do like 2 hours of charting of my setups just to like keep it fresh in my head and just practice hindsight execution, right? Visualization exercises, visualize. Ugh, can't even speak. Visualize what the chart's going to look like, adding points and things such as for future trade potentially. But um, another thing is, look, if you keep coming to me and asking for proof, look, I uploaded verified trades. I did it. I'm not going to show my entire life, okay? Personally, I don't give a fuck who believes me or not. I don't need this. Honestly, I don't. I do this because I want to help people. I don't need Twitter. I don't need any of that bullshit. I don't give a fuck about it. You don't have to join the room. Everything's free. I don't care. Okay. Only reason it's free is because I don't believe in edge erosion. Okay, I have my own beliefs in that. I don't believe in edge erosion. I believe in new players coming to the market and making the same mistakes as previous players. All right, that's why things happen. I've been playing the same setups for now 9 years, most of them. Some of them only maybe 4 or 5 years, but um, yeah. Um, so if you keep coming to me, ask for verified trades. I put it up the last 90 days. I'm not putting my entire fucking life up. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have to answer to nobody. To be completely honest with you, I never have to. So I'm humble, but at the same time, some of y'all could really go fuck yourselves. Okay. Um, this community is a terrible community. I got to be honest with you. This community so far, of trying to help, has just been a fucking miserable experience, and that's why most traders that really wanted to use the help, that were really good, they just don't help anymore because there's so many little bitches that are insecure and questioning everything. They have trust issues. Listen, don't take your trust issues out on me. Go to your girlfriend or something, not me. I don't care about your trust issues. I don't care about all your downfalls and shit. I'm going to give out information. You either listen or you don't. To be completely honest, I don't care. All right. And I don't have to answer to you. I don't even have to do this. All right. If you don't want to listen, you could take a walk. All right. And you could go listen to someone else. I don't care. It doesn't do nothing for me. I'm telling you. Nobody here could provide information for me. Okay. None of you guys, if you're listening to me, you can't help me. That's it. That's how I look at it. All right. So anyway, let's get into this. Sorry for the little rant, but you know what? At the same time, sometimes you gotta tell people to go fuck themselves, and that's basically what I'm doing right here. I don't care. Let's be completely honest with you. I don't care. I'm humble, but I don't give a shit. Anyway, let's get into this. Sorry for the rant. Sorry if people don't like the way I sound, but I'm from this is what it is. It is what it is. Anyway, let's talk about fat tail risk. Okay. So day ones, the reason I don't trade them. Look, sometimes I 100% slip up and trade them. I traded Pixie the other day. I slip up all the time and trade them. Not all the time, but sometimes I definitely do. But I'll tell you why I don't size on them. Because it can be scary to size on these, and I'm going to show you why. Because fat tail risk. I look at it like this. There's trades that are home runs, and there's trades that are more. Look, the home runs are usually low frequency trades, meaning they're not common. They're almost like gifts from the market. If you behave and you control your discipline and you have good habits and you survive, eventually they're going to come at you with a home run opportunity. It's either you're prepared or you're not, right? So look, the reason I look at day ones as singles home runs, right? They're different. Singles is because I always think of risk. I don't like to live in a what if type of mindset, but there's certain things, certain setups where you have to look at worst case scenario, right? So I pulled the list of low float, sub 2 million, and I'm sure it goes up to 3, 4, 5 million. But the point is, I want to show you. It doesn't matter. I want to show you the risk of sizing up on day ones. I recommend you don't treat them as home runs. Okay, I recommend you treat them as a high frequency trade that is just slowly padding your wallet. And then eventually you have a home run. If you don't have a home run setup, well, that's unfortunate. If you only know day ones, well, that's even more unfortunate, to be completely honest with you. Look, so my look at it is like this. Yes, day ones work, 100% they work, but they also can really screw you over, right? Really screw you over. In terms of risk, it's one of the hardest trades to control risk, right? You're going to ask why. Well, because things like this. You see shit like this. Now, I use market hard stops, all right? It doesn't matter because I've been stuck in things like this way back. 2020, I got actually 2020 was the last time I got stuck in one, and I never I just that's like the first time I said, all right, I know my bread and butter home runs. This is just a single, right? Don't size up on these because even if you have a hard market stop, you don't get filled here, right? And then you get filled up here, right? Then what happens is even if you don't have a hard market stop and it still goes up, now everyone has hope it's going to go back down, and then they get fucking halted up again. Now your loss is even bigger. It's just the tail risk of it. It's just the when it works, it's great, but people don't forget to talk. People always want to talk about when things work, right? When things work, it's nice. Obviously, we all know that it's nice when things work in your favor immediately, right? Those are sometimes the best trades, but when things are not working, right? What is the worst case scenario? Well, I would say this is the worst case scenario, but I would also say this is not uncommon for low float gappers. This is definitely not uncommon action, right? Why this happens? Well, you could say algo, you could say too many shorts. It doesn't really matter. That's more opinion than anything. The point is, it does happen, right? That's a fact. Fact and opinion, right? It does happen. We've seen it many times, right? And if you haven't, you're living under a rock. But yes, we've seen it many times. So the fact is, there is a fat tail risk to this type of trade. And this is just one scenario. I mean, there's so many. I mean, if you trade day ones, you would definitely see where I'm coming from. So why do I say this is a risky setup? Well, if you size accordingly for this type of scenario, I mean, you could make money and pad the wallet high frequency, meaning you'll have them often, right? But if you're looking at this as a home run type of trade, that's going to be one of those, like my trades is like, all right, 80% of my trades is like 20% of my money at the end of the year, right? Maybe more, maybe 90% of my trades. The other 10% of the home runs that really make most of my money. So that's kind of the point I'm looking at is that these type of trades, as much as you can make money when they don't work, you could give back a lot if you don't know how to take a single and just size down on these and just slowly pad the wallet, right? If you size too much on this, right here, right? Say here you go in at 10,000 shares and you have a dollar risk, say, if you're risking $10,000. Your stop doesn't hit, right? Well, guess what? When everything worked, it was good. When nothing worked, you just lost $30,000, maybe more. And this is the risk. It's very risky. And in my opinion, you got to know when things have big risk to them in terms of things that you can't control. This you can't control. And then risk that you can control and you don't see things like this. There's setups where this just doesn't happen, right? And then this type of setup, it seems to be very common. So it's good to know when to hit a home run and when to just take your singles and pad the wallet. You'll see this a lot, especially with low floats. And people are just, I always say, know what you trade. When you know what you trade, you could be aware of how much money to put to it, right? Low float. Well, know what you trade day one. I've seen, say this was pre-market, and I see a 100% gapper, and I wanted to trade it, and I seen this low float. Well, I know today is going to be a single. I don't even trade them, but let's say today's going to be a single. I'm not going to take the size I would take on other setups. I'm going to take a smaller size because I know there is a potential fat tail risk to this setup. Therefore, I have to be aware that the risk can completely get out of my control, even with great risk management and good intent to cover, right? You could still get stuck. And that's something that's unfortunately just not in your control. Okay. Now, there are cases where they come back down and you get saved. But again, talk about the ones that don't work. When they keep going and you're now holding and hoping because you got skipped up, now you're even in bigger trouble. Okay. So it's a lose lose. Yeah, sometimes you'll get saved, but then that one time you don't. It all balances each other out to just be a fucking nightmare. Okay. I mean, it's pretty much common sense, right? So I would say for day ones, know what you trade. Understand the fundamentals. Understand what could this float do? What could the setup in general do? What's worst case scenario? Well, it could teleport candle on you, and then you're fucked. Even if you have perfect risk management, because at that point, your risk is no longer high a day. Let's say your risk now is how many shares you have, right? Because now if you oversize too many shares, you are fucked, my friend. You are fucked. Take singles. Take singles on these high frequency trades. Um, and just pad the wallet and then come up with another idea of an A plus bread and butter home run play, multi-day runner or something like that. But this is just my take. I mean, you can do whatever you want with this information. I mean, it's completely up to you. I can just tell you now, you're gonna learn the hard way if you don't, but it's entirely up to you. But that's why you should trade these trades as singles, right? I talked to one guy that I've been trying to help out as much as I can, and it just seems that everyone I talk to, I teach them all these multi-day runner types of scenarios, large cap shorts as well, and it seems that they do great until they trade these fucking things, man. Why is that? Because it's things like this where, like, yeah, you have great discipline to cut risk. It's just that unfortunately your risk gets blown through 30%, right? It's just these things you don't have control over. So when you don't have control over this, you can't consider these home run plays setup, because it's just the fat tail risk of when they don't work, right? Or you get that big squeeze out, right? There's a lot of risk to it. And this one happened on the day, but we've seen them many times come back down 10:30, completely blow through. And like I said, it's not your risk. Your risk isn't how many dollars you want to risk, it's how many shares you have. It's a little different. This is for this setup because there's really is fat tail risk of these teleport candles. And people always just want to talk about the winners. But when they don't work, how many trades are you getting rid of that you won because one had something like this? Well, there's potential you get rid of 20 trades just from something like this, 10 trades. So there is a fat tail risk to it. That's why you have to always understand what you're trading, what you're putting risk on, and what has potential having a outlier scenario happening. And I would say day ones for sure. Um, but yes, the point is just understand what you're trading, understand when things should be singles and you size down, and just take little by little, and let it build up, and then have the home run where you can size up. Um, I mean, it's a game changer. It really is, and I mean that's my opinion on that. I mean, it is what it is. If you want to listen to that, that's fine. You could also just go back test it. Is this guy bullshitting me? Well, let's go take low floats, back test it, and look at the fat tail risk. Okay. All right. Um, Look, I hope I help you guys. There's no agenda. No one has to pay for a fucking room, man. All right. I don't make shit. All right. So cut it out with the bullshit. All right. I don't make nothing. I made $900 a month from this room. That pays for my chiropractor. Okay. I don't need this fucking room. All right. But I do like to help because I'm in love with this game. I always have been, and there's nothing. It's not fulfilling, and I truly do like helping people. I was once upon a time. A lot of people help me as well. I know people are like, oh, that's the good old pass it forward. Yeah, yes. Some people are good people, right? So, Yeah, but I hope it helped you guys out. This might help somebody, and if it doesn't resonate with any of you guys, that's fine too. But as long if it resonates with one person and it helps them, um, that's enough for me. And if it doesn't resonate with anybody, I mean, my opinion, eventually you might come back to this video when you blow up. Um, anyway, all right, everyone, have a good weekend. Peace.